It is Saturday, May 10th, and President Trump announcing a full and immediate ceasefire between India and Pakistan, halting this three-day war in its tracks. People now hailing Trump as the peacemaker in chief. Isn't it great to have a U.S. president who keeps the peace instead of prevents it? Also, Trump solidifying his tariff position this morning, confirming all of the soon-to-be-announced trade deals will include, at minimum, the 10% universal base tariff. Huge news. We'll explain why. And accountability coming to the Dem party. Arrests forthcoming as two Dem congressmen caught on video assaulting federal ICE officers. We're going to show you, and more stories as well from around the country. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So two nuclear-armed countries, India and Pakistan, have been spiraling toward a full-out war over the last few days, setting the stage for what could easily trigger World War III. Commentators, politicians flippantly discussing this conflict as if it's a bar fight. No care in the world. Some outlets purposely stirring up fear, drumming up support for U.S. interventionism. The same exact attitude that's led to all of these nonstop wars. That is, until Donald Trump came back to power. Moments ago, President Trump announcing on Truth Social that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire, saying after a long night of talks mediated by the U.S., I am pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Congratulations to both countries on using common sense and great intelligence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The President of the United States now being hailed the peacemaker in chief, something I haven't seen in my lifetime. An American president making it his job to stop, halt, prevent wars instead of going around provoking them. Secretary of State Marco Rubio reportedly playing a large role in mediating this ceasefire, conducting back and forth diplomacy over the last 2-3 days, posting on X. Over the past 48 hours, VP Vance and I have engaged with senior Indian and Pakistani officials, including Prime Ministers Modi and Sharif and their national security advisors, and I am pleased to announce the governments of India and Pakistan have agreed to an immediate ceasefire and to start talks on a broad set of issues at a neutral site. We commend both prime ministers on their wisdom, prudence, and statesmanship in choosing the path of peace. CNN reporting the Trump administration and Marco Rubio playing a massive role in achieving this ceasefire and halting the conflict. Watch.
Michael?
Nick Peyton Walsh, thank you for the report from Kyiv. Our fingers are crossed. Let's go now to Nick Robertson in Islamabad. Nick, what's the latest?
Yeah, I was just talking to a source who was literally in the room where it happened, where Secretary of State Marco Rubio, I was told, played a massive role in bringing about this ceasefire, a ceasefire that on multiple times today and even yesterday, because it was in the works yesterday, perhaps over the last 48 hours, as we've been reporting, Pakistan was sort of on a military pause to give a window for diplomacy. What I understand from this source is that that was blown out of the window early this morning when India attacked 3 air bases, one of them here in the capital, just on the outskirts of the capital. That, according to the source, Pakistan responded with a relentless, a massive barrage of missiles and rockets, they say, Pakistan says, into Indian military facilities, bases inside India, air bases, weapon storage, and along that disputed line of control in Kashmir against military bases there. They say that this, from the Pakistan perspective, their communications, how they were communicating with Secretary Rubio, that really put India on the back foot. It didn't know what had happened. India, according to Pakistan, reached out to Secretary Rubio, reached out to the Saudis, reached out to the Turks, reached out to others to find a diplomatic off-ramp, got engaged after that onslaught in diplomacy.
What a refreshing improvement to the last administration that spun the Russia-Ukraine conflict into a full-fledged war, costing U.S. taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of lives. It's extremely easy to start a war, but incredibly difficult to end one, which is why when the war hawks come out in these situations, they should just be tuned out, ostracized. They shouldn't put them on TV. People like Liz Cheney, Lindsey Graham, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, the people who gaslight us into believing peace is the wrong path, the weak path. People like this Indian reporter who's melting down over Trump announcing a ceasefire. Watch this.
Coming in from a third party.
It's a clear case of overstepping. It is not the job of the President of the United States to make a claim when we haven't even agreed that this is a matter which requires his intervention. And with the greatest of respect to the American president, he has no idea about the ground situation. He has no idea about what's happening here. Till a few days back, he said that this is not for him to look into, and now he's congratulating both countries trying to be a global peacemaker. And I think this is beyond him. I strongly object to the fact that the US president is saying that he has sorted out the conversation between two countries. I think President Trump does not understand the importance of difference between back-channel talks or informal diplomacy or clandestine diplomacy or overt diplomacy. Somebody should teach him.
In another story, Trump making news, solidifying his tariffs are not just for negotiation leverage, but for transitioning the U.S. back to a tariff-based system from an income tax system. We reported on this for months. Dems and the media have been trying to muddy the waters and claim he can't have it both ways. Either he leaves the tariffs in place to generate new revenues to hopefully eliminate taxes, or they're only temporary as a means of cutting these fair trade deals that eliminate our deficit. Well, both can be true. Both are in fact true. Trump confirming as much this morning, setting the record straight that the trade deal you saw with the UK is going to be the standard, that the 10% universal base tariff is here to stay. Some countries, it'll be higher, much higher. And these other countries, by the way, have 60 more days until his reciprocal tariffs kick in. But all the trade deals, every one of them that are being finalized right now, all include at minimum the 10% base tariff staying in place. Watch.
President Caroline said today that the 10% baseline tariff on all countries is here to stay, even after the deals are done. Does that mean that countries offering zero tariffs won't get reciprocity?
You are going to always have a baseline. I mean, there could be an exception at some point. We'll see. You know, somebody does something exceptional for us. That's always possible. But basically, you have a baseline of a minimum of 10%. And some of them will be much higher, 40%, 50%, 60%, as they've been doing to us over the years. We had a wonderful deal yesterday. We have 4 or 5 other deals coming immediately. We have many deals coming down the line, and ultimately we're just signing the rest of them in. But we always have a baseline of 10%.
And then specifically on the possibility of an increase in taxes on wealthier Americans, what do you say to conservative Republicans who argue that this is an increase on small business owners?
Well, what we're doing is we're actually, if we ever did that, it would only be, and from what I hear, people would love to do it, rich people. I would love to do it, frankly, but what we'll do is that, you know, they'll go around saying, oh, this is so terrible. Would you do it? Is you're giving up something up top in order to make people in the middle income and the lower income brackets save more. So it's really a redistribution. And I'm willing to do it if they want. I would love to be able to give people in a lower bracket a big break by giving up some of what I have. But I'll tell you, a lot of people say don't do it because of the fact that you have the Bush statement about read my lips, but he lost because of Ross Perot. He didn't lose because of that statement.
And then on the salt.
But I don't think they're going to be doing it, but I actually think it's good politics to do it where richer people give up, and it's a very small, it's like a point, but they give it up to benefit people on a lower income.
This is huge. It's what I've been hearing from Trump world going back to the campaign even, that this is the plan, that the tariffs are here to stay in some form or fashion. Trump thoroughly believes in the 1930s Smoot-Hawley style trade policy, that it's required to solve the massive record-breaking deficits that we're facing. And yes, they are record-breaking in a bad way. U.S. trade deficit hitting a new record high of $140 billion in March. Look at this. The last time we had a surplus was in 1975. And if you were to put a chart of our national debt on top of this, you'd see it exploded over the same period of time. What's incredible to me is if it wasn't for Donald Trump, I don't think anyone would even be talking about this. No other president from either party even realized this was happening, or if they did, barely understood the repercussions and never, ever would have attempted to fix it. Thank the Lord for President Trump. In another story, DHS confirming that Democratic members of Congress may soon be arrested for assaulting federal ICE officers. Trump's DHS spokesperson making the announcement this morning on CNN saying there will likely be arrests coming. This is an ongoing investigation, and we have body cam footage of these Democrats assaulting our ICE officers, body slamming ICE officials. CNN stunned to learn this, shocked and left speechless that there's more yet to be seen footage. They can't believe they don't have all the footage. Watch this.
We should let viewers know there will likely be more arrests coming. We actually have body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers, including body slamming a female ICE officer. So we will be showing that to viewers very shortly.
You say a video of members of Congress body slamming ICE
That's correct.
officials?
That's correct, sir. It's disgusting.
Okay, and so if you have that video, are you suggesting that members of Congress will be arrested who were there yesterday?
This is an ongoing investigation, and that is definitely on the table.
Who has the video?
ICE does, and we will be releasing that very shortly.
Okay. Let's talk about
this coming as a group of protesters, including 2 members of Congress, 2 Democrats, and the Newark, New Jersey mayor stormed the gate and broke into an ICE detention facility, all to put on a show for the media, leading to the arrest of the Newark, New Jersey mayor yesterday. And Dems, with their stooges in corporate media, are shook. The meltdown is real. Seeing accountability for the first time. Never before have these people faced consequences. Well, the Trump administration not messing around. Watch.
Now, 2 things there. I wasn't on the scene. I've watched a lot of video. It seems pretty clear from the video we have that the mayor did not break in to the facility. He's outside a barrier. Also, he's obviously in New Jersey, not exactly a comforting thing to hear from administration that has routinely been rushing people across the country after immigration arrests. So think about just for a second where we are here. We have seen the arrest and frog marching in cuffs of a sitting judge in Wisconsin. We have now seen a mayor swarmed by masked federal agents and put in cuffs, both over this administration's immigration policy. Outside that facility, Congressman Robert Menendez Jr. slammed the use of immigration enforcement against communities and government officials.
We saw Mayor Baraka out here by himself.
All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.